Pile 1, what should you heal before you get into a relationship? For you, I got toxic independence. In other words, it feels like you have been so let down and so disappointed by people, and there just weren't people around you that you could really count on, to the point where you sort of subconsciously receive the message that you have to do everything. Like, you learned that you can only count on yourself, you only trust yourself, and you sort of overcompensate and just do everything for everyone, to the point where you don't even like ask other people for things. It might even be difficult for you to receive any sort of help from other people, and that really stops a relationship from being reciprocal. Like, you don't actually, this programming is sort of running in your subconscious that you can't count on anyone, and that it's so much easier for you to just do things. And it might be very scary when someone says, oh, I'll do this, for you to just let them deal with it. Because if they don't, you might get really scared that like it would let you down so much that you wouldn't be able to really continue a relationship with a person, because you've experienced so much disappointment. You're trying to avoid more by just doing everything yourself instead of counting on people. But you really don't want a relationship where you're carrying the entire burden and the other person just isn't doing anything. That's also painful. So for you, it's really facing this disappointment and just a lack of anyone to count on. This is reiterated in your cards. The first card under is Lord of Unstable Effort. It means there's no solid ground for me. I can't trust the people in my life to follow through on what they say. I can't trust them to be there for me, so I just will do everything myself. And I'm sure it worked for you for a time, but this is something to heal before a relationship, so that you can learn to receive and to trust. You want reciprocity. Like, you're going to be good at some things in a relationship, and your partner will be good at other things, and you guys can help and do things for each other. Because someone in this state, like, it's really difficult for them to even receive, even though they might be completely exhausted with this whole burden that they've taken on. Really being encouraged to share yourself, share your problems, share what makes you tired, share what you want help with, learn how to ask for help. And this is going to make life so much easier, and people will be able to sort of complete the picture of your life and be equal parts in it, and not just dump all their situations and problems onto you for you to take care of it. Because the way you're functioning right now, people might feel exhausting and they might feel like a burden. And you don't want a partner that feels like a burden. You want someone in your life who helps your life be more enjoyable and less burdensome. I pulled cards on if you heal this, what could happen. Queen of Cups. This is like the ultimate like receiver. Water is such a receptive energy. And Seven of Cups is this, these are empty cups. And the Justice card means balance. So this is you sort of doing all of the work, and then your cup is empty, but you're filling other people's. And when you heal this, there's going to be this, Justice is when the universe and like sort of karma takes over and does things in the background for us. When you heal this wound, and you don't feel this toxic independence anymore, the universe is going to balance out the scales, and it's going to bring in people who can fill your cup, and it's going to make it so much easier for you to just say no to other people, and for you to say, I'm tired, I'm not doing it, and for you to not take on other people's burdens. And in this Justice, people who were really, it's really giving me the idea that like people who were really unfair to you will just find out how unfair it was in some kind of a way. And the universe will just bring in people who can fill your cup because you are ready to receive. So it'll be sort of a beautiful new era for you, where you'll be in this Queen of Cups energy instead of this Knight of Pentacles energy. Knight of Pentacles is just like slow moving, really doing everything they can to sort of get a solid ground. And Queen of Cups is like, I'm going with the flow. I'm not exhausting myself. I have an incredible heart and an incredible ability to receive and give love and, you know, other things like life tasks and things as well. And people want to help the Queen of Cups because she's just so wonderful and has such a beautiful energy to be around. So things will balance out for you after you heal this wound, and you'll be able to be in a solid reciprocal relationship with an equal who helps enhance and better your life and makes things easier, and both of you can give and receive for each other. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for being here. Bye. Pile 2, what should you heal before a relationship? For this pile, I was seeing a mother, and the card seemed to reiterate that, but it doesn't have to be a mother if it's a father or just another figure in your life. I was seeing that person sort of standing tall, and then you sort of on your knees begging for them to love you. I think for most of this is a mother. You wanted their love, their approval, and they didn't really give it, which left you in this lower state of really feeling like you have to beg for love and you have to give so much and sort of make all these accommodations for the other person in the hopes that you could do enough to where they will love you eventually. Like, I just see you sort of just really unfairly lowering. I see someone like you sort of enter relationships with this relationship, which was probably with a mother in mind, where the person is up high on a pedestal and you just feel so low. You feel so lower than them, and you're just doing all these things and giving in to them and giving them so much, hoping that that will make them love you. You're just on your knees begging for love. This is such a low state, and I feel like you're giving away things you don't want to give away, like you're violating your own boundaries. You might not even know what your own boundaries are because you've been so focused on the other person. Like, it isn't, I need to hold a certain energy within myself. It is, I need to put all my energy and focus on getting this person to love me. And that is no kind of a state to be in. This is really something to heal, and it's just going to completely change the way that you live life, because you're losing yourself and you're entering into relationships with people, not even like romantic relationships. You could do this with everything, with friendships, with work relationships. You don't have to, but you might, where you enter with the completely wrong power dynamic. And like, you have to enter a relationship or view a person as equal to you, and you have to see your own worth to the point where if they don't see your worth, you leave. That's a healthy dynamic. When a person can say, oh, you've treated me badly and I know I'm worth better, and so they just leave and they don't talk to the person ever again. But I feel like with you, if someone treats you badly, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, what can I do to get them to treat me right? Or like, you'll say anything just to get them to like have their approval again. And it stems back to this formative relationship with a mother figure. It could be father or sister, whatever. A formative relationship in your childhood where this dynamic was playing out. And we see that, again, Queen of Cups makes me think of mother, but unstable effort is the first card, and then you get the nurturer. So I feel like you could have had an unpredictable love when you were a kid. You were really loved and nurtured in one moment, and then the next moment it was like they didn't even care if you existed. It could be like that, just really unstable. But the Ace of Cups on the end is like what you want so badly, and you're just like begging for love, but you have to turn inwards and find your own worth and stand up and realize that people are not above you and you don't need their approval. You have to fall in love with yourself and approve of yourself so that the power dynamic is even, so that they have power and you have power. And if they treat you badly, you don't put up with it. You don't even care if to explain what they did wrong. You're just like internally like, oh, I didn't like that, and you leave, because that shows that you understand your worth. And this is going to draw in people who really do see your worth and value you and love you. It is nothing that you ever have to beg for. It is nothing you have to give yourself up for. It is just something that once you feel the worth of yourself and you turn inward and you figure out who you are and you value it, you will naturally fall in love with your own beautiful soul, because everyone has one deep down. I don't think yours is that deep or buried. I think you're probably a really sweet person. You just have the wrong idea of what love dynamic should be, because love wasn't given to you in the way it should have been. It should have been automatic. It should have been natural, and you should have known it was there, and you shouldn't have had to feel like you had to earn it or get someone's approval for it. But I pulled what, if you heal this, what could be. This is powerhouse cards. Ace of Swords. So someone with complete like clarity. I'm seeing this, and there's literally a crown in this card. I'm seeing this as you rising up and discovering your power, doing intense, deep, like soul searching, and truly falling in love with your authentic self. You're like, I am sweet, I am compassionate, or I am, powerful and passionate, or I am so like spiritual, intuitive, and romantic. Whatever it is, you're going to find it and you're going to love it. You're going to fall in love with your authentic self. Queen of Pentacles, the Empress. Queen of Pentacles is someone who has full command and control of what's happening around her. Pentacles is earth energy. It is, I rule this domain. Like the environment around me is within my control. If I don't want you here in my life, you're not in my life. You're either good for me or you're gone. And it's someone who is just so confident. And then Empress is the ultimate. Like, she is like the highest female in the deck. She knows her worth completely. She sits on a throne. She gets bowed to because she has such an incredible, receptive, feminine power. She has the power of knowing what she's worth, and the universe and the people around her fall in line and give it to her. Like, she gets everything that she wants through magnetism and through becoming and attracting it. This is powerhouse energy, and it's very like real earth type energy too. Like, we could pull other cards that are like, you find value in spirituality or something. These are very earth based. This is like the Taurus and like a Capricorn card. This is, my worth is here and it's real and I can see it. And you might even be someone who, once they step into their worth and they put on this crown, discovers that they are really good at like making money, because both of these cards are very money based. So you could discover that you have a really powerful position at work and you actually are a powerful person and you can make money and you can build your own throne. You build your own sort of house. You get the environment that you want. That's what these cards are saying. You get very tangible things from your power. It isn't just like insights or a good emotional state. This is, I've built the entire life around me and I built my own foundation. Oh, that's what it's talking about, foundation. Because remember, we had unstable effort where I said the foundation was unstable. Like, you should have just been loved. You should have just been. So you create an environment that is stable and nurturing because your early one wasn't. And you couldn't really count on it. But you have the power to build a foundation, to stand on the throne and be in command and control of it. This is a complete power shift, because the dynamic in the beginning is you feeling powerless to other people and hoping to do things to get their love. And the dynamic in the end is you being so in love with yourself that it leaks out of you and you become in power over the environment around you instead of powerless, hoping to get other people's approval. So that is a complete shift, and I love that. That's an incredible energy to end on. And good luck, and thank you for being here. Pile 3. What should you heal before you get into a relationship? For you, I have that you actually have built up resentment for the gender that you are attracted to. So it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay, whatever you are attracted to for a partner, you actually kind of have some anger and some deep-seated resentment for that gender, sort of as a whole. This is sort of someone who, like if a girl, and you could swap around genders however you want for this, but if you're like a little girl in a house and the father figure was like mean to you or would like bully your mother or was just outright abusive, and you're like, God, men are horrible, like they feel uncomfortable, they're unsafe, and then that gets buried into this little girl, into her like subconscious, and she's not really aware of it. It makes complete sense, but she's just living her life and she's like, yeah, I'm attracted to men, but deep down you're like, men aren't actually safe, they're kind of dangerous and they make me uncomfortable. There's something like that going on. You have a very deep-seated belief system buried in your unconscious that is completely justified because of your background, but is keeping you from having a healthy relationship because there is some sort of pain, anger, hurt, resentment for the gender that you're attracted to, but at the same time you're also attracted to them and want to be in a relationship with them. So it's putting this little tug of war inside of you. Most likely this was because of a parent or your parental relationships or your caregiver relationships when you were little. Something happened and you're like, it, seeing the dynamic or the experiences, what your parents sort of made you feel or what they didn't make you feel, sort of put into you this negative feeling about the whole gender. So one thing that would be super beneficial for you is just to automatically write, which means you get a journal or piece of paper and just write it out with your hand if you can, because it's just better to connect with like your unconscious type thing. But whichever it is, like women are or men are, write that at the top of the paper, whichever one applies, and don't think at all. Just let your subconscious take over and you will be shocked at the information that such a simple exercise can give you. And don't try to filter it or lean one way or the other. You can be like, men are like incredible, and I want to be in love with them and they're so romantic. Men are, and then the next line would be like, are completely unsafe and I feel dangerous, feel like I'm in danger around them. Or women are, women just have it easy in life because they could just lay around, don't do anything, and I have to do all the work and I have to do all the pressure because it's unfair of me to ask them to help out. Things like that. There is some sort of belief buried that is keeping you from being able to just release. And it's okay. There are, gender differences, and there are very toxic gender things going on right now. And it is okay to be angry when you see that or witness it or watching it on the news. But what you want to let go of is the constant 24/7 sort of buried resentment that you have. And maybe resentment is the wrong word. Maybe it's just pain or fear or something like that. But you don't have to, you can dig up that belief system, you can heal that original wound and live without that resentment having such a strong place in your life. Of course, if you are a girl who had an abusive father and you dig into this and you really heal this wound, and you're like, okay, this man was not a good man. You don't have to have a relationship with him or anything like that, but you can heal, and you're like, I released that was him, and I've healed this little girl who was so scared, and now I feel a sense of excitement because I can be around good men, and I can experience a man who is protective over me and helps me feel safe, instead of a man who is a danger and helps me and makes me feel afraid. Like, you can move through that. And if a man gets mean to someone else, that can be triggering, and you can get angry then in the moment and say, stop, no, like, not going to take this, or you can leave, or you can go on a rant. But the 24/7 constant feeling of anger or resentment or unsafety that's buried within you, you don't have to carry that. It doesn't mean you have to be passive about the issues. It just means that you don't have to live in this negative state because of it. You can be happy and have incredible moments and truly bond with a partner and heal the way that you feel about a certain gender, and then live, happily, instead of just carrying around this deeply buried resentment 24/7. So in your cards, it's sort of 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, 2 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles here really gives me the idea that maybe like your parents or the person you wanted to love you was really focused on work and focused on building their empire, and they just didn't have time for you. Or whatever the reason is, even if they weren't building up a career, they just didn't have time for you. 8 of Cups is walking away. And 2 of Cups is a deep reciprocal love. Like, you as a kid didn't get this love that you wanted and that you needed. You didn't feel safe. You didn't feel nurtured. You didn't feel something from one or both of your parents. And it left you with this emptiness. And it left you with this pain. And you made the way they acted mean something. And that is the belief system that is carried around within you that you can unearth. I asked, if you heal this wound, what can happen? And got this beautiful cards. 3 of Swords and Knight of Cups popped out together. And that is so beautiful, because I think you can heal and let go of this negativity that you hold for the other gender. And when you do that and you can walk around in like an okay, content state, someone is going to come in. Knight of Cups is someone who rides in with their cup of love to rescue you with love. Someone is going to come in, and you are going to get an incredibly romantic, loving, compassionate partner who, just through their love and presence in your life, heals these old pains and just changes your perspective and helps deepen the healing, because you'll be getting the love that you craved as a kid. And 4 of Cups, Lord of blended pleasure. This is happy, reciprocal, incredible love that makes all of you overflow with joy. These cups are overflowing. The cups in your childhood were empty. These cups are completely overflowing with love and joy and abundance. And you have Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, which signifies contracts like marriage. So even if that's not what you want, there's still this beautiful, incredible, healing love that will leave both of you in just this wondrous state of overflowing with joy and love and warmth. So I hope that was helpful. It's a lot for you to sort of explore and unpack. So good luck. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And thank you for being here.